Hi friends, this is my final video of the topic of the securities market under investment analysis and portfolio management. So let us start. And today in this video we will see about sorry for that guys. We will see about the corporate debt market and under which there is primary market, shelf registration, secondary market and key weaknesses of the corporate debt market in India. So let us start. Corporate debt market is the market for bonds issued by financial institutions, banks, public sector undertakings, that is PSUs, and private sector companies. Unlike the stock market and the G-Sec market, which have become very modern and dynamic, the corporate debt market in India has remained underdeveloped. Hopefully, with the initiatives that are now underway, the market will also become more vibrant and sophisticated. Now we will see about something about primary market. The issuance of corporate debt securities is regulated by SEBI Chapter 10, that is guidelines for issue of debt securities of SEBI guidelines for disclosures and investments protection 2000 deals with debt instruments. Debentures are offered to the public or issued on a rights basis or privately placed. The mechanics of for a public issues of debentures are much the same as that of a public issue of equity. However, there are some differences. Pure debt securities are typically offered through the 100% retail route because the book building route is not appropriate for them. Debt securities are generally secured against the assets of the issuing company, and the security should be created within 6 months of the closure of the issue of debentures. A debt issue cannot be made unless credit rating from a credit rating agency is obtained and disclosed in the offer document. It is mandatory to create a debenture redemption reserve for every issue of debentures. It is necessary for a company to appoint one or more debentures trustees before a debenture issue. Presently, corporate debentures in India are mostly placed privately. The private placements of debentures issue is management by a lead arranger who is also the advisor and investment banker of the issue. Book building mechanism is commonly employed. There is also a virtual book building portal called Detonet, a joint venture of NAC and ILNFS, through which investors can bid for issue, while other investors can hold debentures in paper or electronic form. RBI requires that banks, financial institutions, primary dealers, and secondary dealers must hold debentures privately placed or otherwise only in demat form. From 1995 onwards, private placements of debentures thrived thanks to minimal regulation. Corporates, financial institutions, infrastructure companies, and others depends considerably on privately placed debentures, which are subscribed to banks, mainly by mutual funds, banks, insurance organizations, and provident funds. Information and disclosures to be included in the private placement memoranda where information and disclosures to be included in the private placement memoranda were not defined. Credit rating was mandatory Listing was not compulsory, and banks and financial institutions could subscribe to these issues without too many constraints. The regulatory framework changed significantly in late 2003, and SEBI and RBI tightened their regulation over the issuance of privately placed debentures and subscription of the same by banks and financial institutions. The key features of the new regulatory dispensation are: the disclosure requirements for privately placed debentures are similar to those of publicly offered debentures. That securities carry a credit rating of not less than investment grade from a credit rating agency registered with SEBI. That securities shall be issued and traded in demat form. That securities shall be compulsorily listed. The trading in privately placed debts shall take place between QIBs, that is qualified institutional buyers, and HNIs, that is high net worth individuals, in standard denomination of rupees 10 lakh. Banks should not invest in non-SLR securities of original maturity of less than 1 year other than commercial paper and certificate of deposits which are covered under RBI guidelines. Banks should not invest in unrated non-SLR securities. Now we will see about shelf registration. In India, SEBI allows public sector banks, scheduled commercial banks, and public financial institutions the facility of shelf registration of debt securities. Uh, I repeat, in India, SEBI allows public sector banks, scheduled commercial banks, and public financial institutions the facility of shelf registration for debt securities. A bank or institution that wants to avail of this facility has to file a shelf prospectus with the SEBI, which discloses inter alia the aggregate amount proposed to be raised over a period of time. Once the shelf prospectus is filed and approved by SEBI, the bank or institution can raise money in stages with minimal paperwork. With minimal paperwork, shelf registration provides flexibility to raise money and as, as and when it is convenient or attractive to do so. Now we will see about secondary market. While the equity market in India has witnessed reasonably high trading volumes and liquidity, the secondary market for corporate debt instruments historically has been very dull for several reasons. Debt has been subscribed to by investors who have typically pursued a buy and hold strategy. Debt instruments do not appeal to the speculative traders who dominate the secondary market. Things, however, are changing for the good. The following developments suggest that the trading volumes in corporate debt would rise in future. In the last few years, corporates have raised substantial sums by the way of debt, and this should provide stimulus to trading in secondary market. Bombay Stock Exchange has put in place a system to make the switch over from OTC, that is over the counter market, to an exchange traded market for corporate bonds. Individuals' debt issues are increasing in size, and institutional investors who are likely to be more active in trading are participating heavily in these issues. Every effort should be made by regulators, stock exchange, and other concerned parties to realize the potential of that market. Stamp duty on transfer should be standardized across the country or should be done away with completely. Tax benefits may also be granted for investment in corporate debt. Now, we will see about key weaknesses of the corporate debt market in India. The corporate debt market in India is characterized by the following weaknesses. The bulk of corporate debt is the bulk of corporate debt is issued through private placement where the investor base is restricted to 49. As a result, the secondary market for corporate debt is virtually non-existent, while no stamp duty is payable on the issue or transfer of government securities. Corporate bonds attract stamp duty. Further, the duty varies widely from state to state. The valuation and pricing of corporate debt is opaque. In effect, there is no yield curve that informs the market about the price at which corporate debt with varying ratings and different tenors should trade at. Minimum and low rated companies have no access to corporate bond market. Now we will see about some money market. Money market is the market for short-term debt funds. It comprises of the call and notice money market, repo market, and the market for debt instruments such as T-bills that have an original maturity of less than 1 year. The money market does not exist in a specific physical location or follow a single set of rules or post a single set of prices. Rather, it represents a web of borrowers and lenders linked by telephones and computers, dealing with short-term debt funds. Banks, financial institutions, companies, and governments are the key participants in the money market. At the center of this web is the central bank, whose policies have an important bearing on the interest rates in the money market. The money market provides an equilibrating mechanism even, for evening out the demand and supply of short-term funds and serves as a focal point for the intervention by the central bank, that is RBI in case of India, for influencing the liquidity and interest rates in the financial systems. Now we will see about repo market. In a repo transaction, a holder of securities sells them with an agreement to repurchase the same after a certain period at predetermined price, which is higher than a sale price. In essence, it means that the two parties exchange securities and cash with a simultaneous agreement to reverse the transaction after a given period. Thus, a repo represents a collateralized short-term lending transactions. The party which lends securities or borrows cash is said to be doing the repo, and the party which lends cash or borrows securities is said to be doing the reverse repo. The silent features of the repo transactions are as follows. Repos are generally done for the period not exceeding 14 days, though there is no restriction on the maximum period for which a repo can be done. G-Secs, T-bills and select PSU and institutional bonds are the instruments used as collateral security for repo transactions, while banks and primary dealers can do repos as well as reverse repos. Other participants, such as institutions and corporates, can only lend futures in the repo market. Recently, policy changes seek to do away with this restriction and promote a phased expansion of the repo market. Such an expansion, however, would call for creating and enabling infrastructure such as the clearing corporation and electronic settlement of transactions. Repos are settled on DVP basis on the same day. DVP means delivery versus payments day. So the participants in the repo transactions must hold SGL account and current account with the RBI. Repos are reported in the negotiated trade segment of the WDM segment of the NSE. Now we will see about T-bills. T-bills are short-term debt instruments of the central government. Presently, 91-day and 364-day T-bills are issued. T-bills are sold through an auction process according to a fixed auction calendar announced by RBI. Banks and primary dealers are the major bidders in the competitive auction process. Provident fund and other investors can make non-competitive bids. RBI makes allocation to non-competitive bidders at a weighted average yield arrived at on the basis of the yields quoted by accepted competitive bids. Treasury bills are issued at a discount and redeemed at par. Hence, the implicit yield on a treasury bill is a function of the size of the discount and the period of maturity. Treasury bills are largely held by banks. Provident funds, trusts, and mutual funds have also in recent years become important investors in treasury bills. Most buyers of the treasury bills hold them till maturity and hence the secondary market activity is quite limited. Commercial paper. Commercial paper is an instrument for short-term unsecured borrowing issued by non-banking companies. CPs are issued at a discount and redeemed at par. CPs are meant primarily to finance working capital needs of corporates and hence form part of the working capital limits set by banks. Commercial paper issues are regulated by RBI guidelines issued from time to time. According to October 2001 guidelines, corporates, all India financial institutions, primary dealers and satellite dealers can issue CPs. A corporate is eligible if its tangible net worth is at least 4 crore, if it has a sanctioned working capital limit from a bank or financial institution, and if it is borrower borrower account is a standard asset. The minimum credit rating shall be P2 of CRISIL or an equivalent thereof. The maturity period is 15 days to 1 year. The denomination is rupees 5 lakh or a multiple thereof. Only a scheduled bank can act as a IPA, that is issuing and payment agent. CPs can be issued as a promissory note or in demat form. The RBI has now mandated that all further issues of CPs should be in demat form. Certificate of deposits. We can call it as a CD. It represents short-term deposits which are transferable from one party to another. Banks and financial institutions are the major issuers of CDs. They use them as short-term funding instruments. The principal investors in CDs are banks, financial institutions, corporates, and mutual funds. CDs are issued in BRL or registered form. They generally have a maturity of 3 months to 1 year and are freely transferable after an initial lock-in period. On maturity, the final holder is paid the face value along with interest. Presently, the secondary market in CDs is not active because investors in CDs tend to hold them till maturity. Investors in CDs tend to hold them till maturity. As CDs are issued in physical form, they attract stamp duty on transfer. Now we will summarize the securities market in market for equity, debt and derivatives. The security market is market for equity, debt and derivatives. There are three different ways in which a company may raise equity capital in the primary market: public issue, rights issue, and preferential allotment. The National Stock Exchange And the Bombay Stock Exchange, that is BSE, are the leading stock exchange in the country. In 1994, NSE introduced screen-based trading. In 1995, electronic delivery facilitated by depositories was introduced. From 2002, rolling settlement was introduced in a phased manner. These three major developments transformed the character of the Indian stock market. Most of the stock market indices used in practice are of three types: price weighted index, equal weighted index, and value weighted index. Sensex and Nifty are the two most popular stock market indices in India. IBEX is the most popular bond market in India. It is bond market index. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, the regulatory body for the capital market, has taken a number of steps in the last 15 years to reform the capital market in India. NYSE and Nasdaq are the world's biggest exchanges respectively in terms of market capitalization and market turnover. The stock market in the UK underwent a radical reform in 1986, referred to as a Big Bang, which led to the emergence of a single electronic national market and closure of regional exchanges. Tokyo Stock Exchange is the largest exchange in Japan. While many informed observers of the capital markets have argued for regulating the volume of trading, the idea has not been found practical. The government securities, that is GSEX market, is the largest segment of the long-term debt market in India. GSEX are issued through an auction mechanism and transactions in GSEX are settled through delivery versus payment mode. Presently, corporate debentures in India are mostly private placed and the secondary market for them is very dull. The money market is the market for short-term funds. It comprises of call and notice money, treasury bills, commercial papers, and certificate of deposits. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel.